Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Eador, Masters of the Broken World on Overlord difficulty. After the quick rush through our previous shard, we are now back in the Astral and have to pick another shard. I've checked our options of camera and I've decided that I will go for this shard, the World of Sand. This shard has some nice buildings, two new buildings for tier 2 units, also building for new tier 2 spells, and the dungeon. Dungeon will help us quite a lot on larger maps because it reduces the corruption. Also the bonus here, the workshop, will be quite useful later, so overall really nice buildings and bonuses here. And also because I want to show something new again for this shard. The World of Sand is something we haven't seen yet, so that's another reason why I picked this. So what's our specifics for World of Sand? Basically everything you do in combat on this shard will cost you extra stamina. And with the knowledge of this, we can make this our advantage, and if we do fights properly, it's possible to win fights on this shard that would be basically not doable on other shards. So let's move on, pick our bonuses. I will take a tavern and a library because those buildings are something I always build before I take my hero when I'm starting with commander, and again I want to start with commander here, not because commander is the hero I like playing most, but also because the commander is a hero that works best on this type of world. Because that extra stamina requirements in fights, it's always good to have as many units as possible in your army. If I make an example, if you have an army with 3 units, those 3 units will have to do some amount of attacks, and that will cost them some stamina. If you have an army fighting the same fight, but you have 6 units, each of those units will have to do only half amount of attacks, and that's why each of those units will spend less stamina. And how to manage the stamina loss on this shard, that will be something we'll be talking about a lot here. So commander is the easiest way how to manage this, and I really recommend to use those advantages of commander and go with him. With other heroes you can get into a lot of trouble because they just won't be able to stay in the fight long enough to kill opponent's army, will become exhausted and easy prey for opponent's units just because they will run out of stamina. These two buildings will be all I will take for this shard. I just want to get into fighting as fast as possible, so like this I'll be able to start fighting in the first turn already, and for the rest I don't think we will need anything of that. So let's start and check our starting location. On this shard it's actually doable even if you start in a bit worse location with some hard defenses around you, because if you can work with the requirements of this world properly, you really can do even quite tough fights with relatively weak army. And here we are, so let's check what we have here. Let's start with our capital and locations. Minotaurs, giant spiders, okay, still too hard. Brigands should be okay. Necromancers, because undead are not affected by stamina loss, they are still a problem on this shard. Actually, they are even a bigger problem than on other shards, because as they are not losing any stamina and you are losing much more stamina than usual, you can actually get into trouble because you will become tired before you kill them, and once that happens, they can just annihilate your army. Centaurs, that actually could be an option on this shard. And another brigands and undead. Okay, so we definitely have some options here. Good to know that. And around us, here we have brigand outlaws with what location? No problem. Lizard lands with 3 locations. Again, on this shard we can try this relatively easy, I mean early. Free settlement, okay, our first target. 7-1, 1-3, 3-1, I didn't check that, so now we know it. Definitely a good province. And the last one, Orcish tribes with iron, that's good. The income isn't that awesome, but the iron will help quite a lot. So, now when we know what's around, we can start fighting. Because we have already the tavern and the library, we can go right after a barbarian camp. Take our hero. And as usual, get rid of those initial units. Replace those with barbarians. And one more thing, take spells. And because this is a world of sand, fatigue is even better here. And I usually even stick to fatigue much longer than I do on other shards, because really the stamina is a huge problem here, and the spell that makes it even harder for the opponent units is useful basically throughout the whole game. Now we should have everything we need for the first fight, so let's go for the free settlement and check what's in there. And I've noticed one thing, if you can see, it's not so good to see now, but here is this tiny star on top of the screen, and that means there is the AI, because we can see the location of its heroes, so we are really close to that, and should be really careful, because I'm surprised how close it is. So just something you should always watch for, because this star that will appear where opponent hero is, sometimes it's visible even through fog of war, and you can check where the AI is thanks to this. And what's in our free settlement? 6 defenders, so that's quite a lot for the first fight, but I think it should be still doable because of this world. Same as always, create defensive line and start the fight. Wow. And this looks actually quite hard, because we have 3 spearmen here, and for our untrained barbarians this can be a problem. So we should do something about this, but at least this will give me an option how to show you how to use this world to your advantage. And even this army, I can tell you that this would be not doable on other type of shard without losses this early. But I think that if we do things properly, we should be able to kill these guys here without losses, just because that extra requirements of stamina. Also, with the fatigue, I'm not gonna start on the slinger as I usually would do, but I will start casting it on those spearmen. The slinger will spend quite a lot of stamina running towards us to get in range, and also each shot will cost him extra stamina, so he won't be able to shoot at us for so long. And that's why we can focus our casting on more dangerous units. This is all we can do for the first turn, so let them come. And you can see that those units are already losing stamina just by moving. Here we can let this guy come, maybe move back so he won't be able to attack us yet, and keep going after other spearman. And even force march, and you can see he's already out of stamina, out of the fight. You can just move in. You can move in as well and finish him off. Okay, so that's the first one. Here we can weaken another one and end the turn. And the slinger is already at the half stamina, so 2 more shots and we won't have to care about them anymore. What else? This guy is basically out of the fight here, so I don't have to care about him at all. I will just stay like this and let militiamen come, because what I want to do is to avoid moving if possible. Let the AI do all the moving, let them come to me. That way they will spend a lot of extra stamina and I'll be able to preserve as much of my firepower as possible. And I will even let my units rest for this turn. So another guy is close. He doesn't have any stamina. I would say we can do a few hits. On other type of shards, I would even throw my axe on him. But here, because that type of attack is not as effective as the melee attack, I'm not gonna do that because I really want to save as much stamina as possible for my most effective attacks. Let him come. It did a bit of damage, but really no problem. He's again out of stamina, and now because he's in range, I will kill him easily. And let's just wait for other units to come one by one. It takes a bit longer to finish the fight like this, but it's really worth it. You can see that we have already taken out 3 opponent units, and the damage we have taken isn't that high. So take your time, let the AI come, and use the type of the world here to your maximum advantage. It is really worth it. Bam, again. He's again out of stamina. Slinger is out of stamina. This guy has only, it's like 3 points left, so he will even have problems to get to us. Like this, we can just take another one out, and I will move this barbarian away because he is hurt quite a lot compared to other guys, so I'll move somewhere behind with him and leave the rest of the fight for these 3 guys. A bit of waiting from both sides. Maybe here is a time to move for 1 turn and let him come, and again after an attack he's out of stamina. No problem. A bit of repositioning here. Now we are almost done with this fight, so we can spend a bit of extra stamina. You can rest, so you will have more stamina faster and will be able to run towards the slinger. No problem, and keep waiting. I would say now we have enough stamina to run in and finish the fight. Okay, and finish. So the first fight, you can see that the damage really isn't that high on different type of shard. our barbarians would be hurt a lot more, and I really think that we would lose at least one unit in this fight. So right in the first fight, the first example, how to use the conditions of this world to your advantage. We don't have any level ups, but I don't expect that from the first fight. Here, what can we do? How's our economy? -4 for gold, +4 for gems. Well, we can still use one turn of healing, and some extra money is useful as well. So let's plunder for one turn. But we can at least build, and the granary is a good idea as usual. So let's build that. And end the turn. Wow, 76 gold. That's quite a lot more than I expected. So good for us. That's all for plundering for a while. We can build another building. We again want to get to healers as fast as possible, so now it's time for altar. And we can move to another province. Before that I will check locations here. Knightly Order. Okay, that may be an early target, but I would say that Knightly Order is a bit more difficult to take out on this shard than on other shards, because the tactics will be the same. We will just web the knight and try to kill him as fast as possible while he is webbed, and then just clear other units. But because we have to move around the knight after we web him, and also it takes quite a few attacks to kill him, that means that we will spend a lot of stamina for that knight, and we won't have much left for other units, so it may be a problem after we kill that knight to kill the rest of that army. So maybe I will wait with this a bit longer than I would on other shards. And what will be our next target? Brigand Outlaws, Lizards, and here Orcish Tribes. On another shard I would usually go for Brigand Outlaws, because they are definitely the easiest out of these three. But here I think that we should be able to take out these orcs, as long as we can handle the stamina loss and force them to walk around a lot. It should be fine. Okay, so this will be our next target, but I will leave that for the next part. I will make this part shorter, more like an introduction for the shard and for the new type of world, and go on with the fighting in the next video. I hope you like this, and see you in the next part. Bye bye.